This was a case that shocked the entire United States. A 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee was innocently killed by a homeless black man. Follow me as we walk through what happened in the aftermath. The incident took place on the 22nd of last month on a light rail train in Charlotte, USA. A 34-year-old homeless black man named DeCarlo Brown was sitting on a seat. A few minutes later, the victim appeared. 23-year-old Iryna Zaluzhka entered the same carriage. It is reported that in 2022, she fled war-torn Ukraine with her family and began a new life in America. Video shows Zaluzhka had just finished her shift at a pizza shop, still wearing her work uniform, headphones on, looking at her phone. She boarded the wrong train at the wrong time and chose the wrong seat without realizing her fate, because right behind her sat a homeless man with a long criminal record. At this point, she had only 4 minutes left to live, completely unaware of what was coming. About 4 minutes later, Brown, seated behind her, pulled out a folding knife he carried and opened the blade. Zaluzhka had no idea danger was closing in. Brown held onto the seat and suddenly drove the knife into her neck 3 times in total. Zaluzhka curled up in terror, looking fearfully at Brown. Her innocent expression was heartbreaking. Passengers nearby saw this, but acted as if nothing had happened. She herself had not yet realized how serious her injuries were, covering her face like a hurt child. But seconds later, she lost consciousness, collapsing to the ground, never to wake again. Brown walked calmly to another carriage, his hand dripping blood from his own cut as he moved. People around still didn't realize what had happened, until a man in a gray hoodie looked down and saw bloodstains, then noticed the victim's position. At this moment, Brown took off his hoodie and wrapped his bleeding hand with it. Although those nearby had some idea of what happened, none dared to intervene, afraid they might be next. A few seconds later, a young black man noticed something was wrong from another carriage and came over, following the blood trail to where Zaluzhka lay. By then, the train was approaching the station. Several passengers in the carriage were already lined up by the door, eager to get out of danger. When the train stopped, Brown got off. Some panicked passengers also rushed out frantically. Back at the victim's spot, crowds had gathered, but no one dared to help. The young black man didn't hesitate. He rushed forward first, trying to rescue Zaluzhka, dragging her out of the cramped space, pressing on the wound with his hands, but it was useless. Because her carotid artery had been cut, even if a top medical team had been on site, she could not have been saved. As time passed, a woman in a black tank top joined in, but she was at a loss, not knowing what to do. The young black man removed his shirt to stop the bleeding. More and more people joined the effort, but nothing could save her. Zaluzhka's life ended at just 23 years old. Ironically, a photo from her room showed a chalkboard on her wall with the words "Black Lives Matter" written on it. This young woman who stood for Black lives was ultimately killed by one. After the incident, it shocked the nation and even drew Trump's attention.
Is when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman. A beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand.
Brown had a long criminal record, dating back to 2011, including armed robbery, felony theft, and burglary. He was arrested 14 times in total and served 5 years in prison. After his release in 2020, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and in 2022 attacked his own sister. Although he was arrested afterwards, his sister, out of concern for his mental health issues, withdrew the charges. On January 23rd of this year, Brown was arrested once again after calling police, but local judge Wes Stokes still granted him release. Though he is a judge, he did not hold a law license because state law allowed judges to preside without one, requiring only a 4-year degree. 7 months later, His release decision indirectly led to the Ukrainian refugee's death. The judge also faced heavy online backlash. Even Brown's mother said that releasing him was a complete mistake. Brown is now in custody, awaiting the law's judgment. For me, it was truly heartbreaking when I first learned this news. While making this video, I didn't even realize when my tears started falling. I feel such deep sorrow for that young woman. She was as beautiful as an angel, with a kind heart and a bright future ahead of her in America, sadly. All her dreams and hopes ended here. But I believe with certainty that she's now in a place of peace, a place we call heaven, where angels truly belong. Yes, that place is heaven, and she will be smiling happily there. As for the monster disguised as a human, there are no words strong enough to describe the horror of his crimes. Justice and the law will be served, and he will face what he deserves. Goodbye, I'm Hope.